The retractable roof of the FIFA World Cup 2026 Stadium. The retractable roof of the stadium that will host the most matches during the FIFA World Cup 2026 weighs as much as 20 Boeing 737 planes. When its construction was underway in 2006, the engineering team had to build a 1,500-ton roof that could be opened and closed when needed, and that too on a structure with no walls and no pillars. At that time, this was the world's largest stadium, featuring the longest unsupported arches ever built. But the problem was that the stadium's arches were curved at a 30-degree angle. At this angle, moving such a heavy roof, let alone opening it, seemed impossible. It was like dragging the weight of 20 Boeing jets up an incline. Dozens of engineers were brought in. Every possible idea was tested, but all experiments failed. Finally, the idea that succeeded was invented 150 years ago by a man who had absolutely no connection to engineering. Welcome back to ALGM TV videos. Viewers, the stadium being considered the favorite for FIFA 2026 is the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Spread over an area of 3 million square feet, this magnificent stadium has a seating capacity of 80,000 at one time. Its interior volume is 3 million cubic meters, meaning the entire Pyramid of Giza could fit inside, and still thousands of people could be seated. In terms of height, if you stood the Statue of Liberty inside, it still wouldn't touch the ceiling. When we look at the stadium and then examine its features, it's hard to believe how it was built. Two 400-meter-long arches without any pillars, a 1,500-ton retractable roof, central air conditioning, and two sliding glass doors as tall as a 12-story building. All these challenges arose in 2006 when the National Football League, NFL, needed a new stadium in Texas. The Dallas Cowboys American football team demanded a stadium that wouldn't just be used for 8-10 football matches a year, but could be utilized all year round. Texas is known for winter storms in winter and scorching sun in summer. Using the stadium year-round meant it would need to be indoors, with climate control. Normally, when you need a roof over any structure, you obviously erect pillars. But if pillars stood in the stadium, they would obstruct the audience's view. This was the first challenge for architect Brian Trube, who faced the toughest challenges of his career on this project. He had to design a stadium with no pillars at all. But for Brian, the challenge wasn't just designing a roof without pillars. On that roof would not only hang a 1,500-ton retractable roof, but also the world's largest LED screen, weighing 600,000 kilograms. The total weight would be 2,100 tons. The solution lay hidden in a structure from history that everyone has long forgotten. In 1875, engineers were laying a railway line in Portugal, but their work stopped at the banks of the Douro River. This river, 170 meters wide and up to 20 meters deep, had a very fast flow. This meant no pillars could be placed to build a bridge there. French engineer Gustave Eiffel was brought in to solve this problem. Eiffel designed a parabolic arch supported by the riverbanks that would need no pillars. Although such a large arch seemed impossible at the time, Eiffel proved everyone wrong. It wasn't just the arch design bearing the bridge's weight. Look closely and you'll see small triangles inside. These triangles are the biggest secret of the arch strength. The triangle is the only shape in the world that, no matter how much pressure you apply, will break, but will not change its shape. The structure of these triangles is called a truss system in engineering. And this very discovery by Gustave Eiffel was used in Texas AT&T Stadium, but on an enormous scale. Two arches, 1,400 feet long, with a thickness of 14 feet and a depth of 35 feet. Their entire weight was transferred to 4 concrete abutments, built 400 meters apart. Each abutment used as much concrete as 200 houses of 200 square yards each. Because these arches were made of steel, which expands in Texas's heat and could crack the concrete, expansion joints were placed between the steel and the abutments. These allow the stadium to breathe. 8 months later, the roof work was complete. Without pillars, the open-view stadium roof was ready. In the middle, an iconic rectangular opening was left as a nod to the old Dallas Cowboys Stadium. But at AT&T Stadium, this opening had to be covered with a roof that could handle all kinds of weather. The retractable roof panels, with a total weight 10 times that of the world's heaviest animal, the blue whale, made opening and closing on these sloped arches a difficult task. Obviously, when the roof opens, gravity must be resisted, and lifting it against gravity would be like lifting 10 blue whales. For this task, the roof panels were first divided into 2 equal halves so that when the roof opened, Equal weight would fall on both sides of the truss. If heavy-duty winches were used to open and close them, lifting 1,500 tons would require adding the weight of at least a 3,000-ton winch. And if one winch opened any one panel at a different speed, the truss's balance would be disturbed, leading to disaster. Second, if a steel cable accidentally broke, it would be catastrophic. To solve this problem, engineers turned to a 150-year-old invention whose inventor was not an engineer. In the 19th century, a businessman named Sylvester Marsh, who owned a meatpacking business, was very fond of hiking. He often climbed Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Climbing this mountain was not easy for the average person, which is why most tourists turned back. In 1869, Marsh designed a railway track called the cog railway or rack railway. In this system, a rack is placed between the rails, into which the teeth of a gear can fit. The rack is the toothed part on the track, and the pinion is the gear attached to the train. The train could now easily climb any hill without slipping. To prevent the train from rolling backward, a lock was placed on the pinion that allowed it to turn in only one direction. If you've ever experienced a cog railway or a roller coaster, the continuous hammering sound you hear while climbing is from this lock. This genius invention was named the rack and pinion system. For the retractable roof of AT&T Stadium, the decision was made to install this very rack and pinion system. The line you see on the stadium roof is the rack, or track, on which the panels can easily open with a strong grip. For this task, 130 motors of 5 horsepower each were installed to power the pinions for closing and act as brakes when opening. Because the gear size is fixed, both roof panels open equally, and equal weight falls on both sides of the truss. AT&T Stadium's retractable roof takes 12 minutes to open. Keeping this entire stadium cool in summer was no small feat. The volume inside the closed stadium is 3 million cubic meters. Astonishingly, the volume of 75,000 standard rooms. Cooling such a large volume means cooling 3 Burj Khalifa-sized buildings from top to bottom. In air conditioners, you may have heard of 5 tons, 2 tons, or at most 4 tons. Astonishingly, the stadium uses an 11,000-ton chiller, with ducts as thick as 6 feet. According to the laws of physics, cold air is heavy. These ducts throw cold air from above, which passes over the audience and falls onto the field. Hot air, being lighter, accumulates in the empty space above the field, where it gets recycled. To enhance the audience's viewing experience, AT&T Stadium installed the world's largest LED screen at that time. This screen weighs 600,000 kilograms and contains over 10 million LEDs. As tall as a 10-story building, this screen is suspended 50 meters above the pitch. To provide views from all sides, the total surface area of this LED is as large as a 3,000 square yard plot. No matter which corner you're sitting in, this stadium screen can be seen from everywhere. The stadium doors are glass doors, as tall as a 12-story building. They are not made in one piece, but by joining small panels. Each panel weighs approximately 86,000 kilograms. These insulated glass doors also open and close using the rack and pinion system. These magnificent doors take about 18 minutes to fully open or close. Now, let's come to the main thing, where the game will be played. At AT&T Stadium, turf was installed over concrete so that not only football but other games could also be played by removing the turf. But now, for the FIFA World Cup, stadium management faces a new challenge. FIFA rules state that soccer matches must be played only on natural grass, not artificial turf. To fulfill this FIFA condition, the Dallas Cowboys have set aside a separate budget of $300 million. But the question is, how will natural grass grow on a concrete floor? The stadium roof doesn't open completely to provide equal sunlight to the grass. For this, stadium management has raised the field by 6 inches. A special drainage system has been installed underneath to drain water from the grass. Artificial UV lights have been installed to maintain sunlight. Stadium management's plan is that the natural grass will not be grown inside the stadium, but rather on a farm in Colorado. Near match time, it will be brought in refrigerated trucks and installed. Additionally, the stadium's original seating capacity of 80,000 will be increased to 94,000. For the FIFA World Cup, a total of 9 matches will be played at AT&T Stadium. The first match will be played here on June 14, and the World Cup semifinal will also be held here on July 14. After that, the natural grass will be removed, and the turf will be reinstalled. We hope you will also like and share this Algem TV video to the fullest. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.